morning, Malekians. Welcome to day 2 of 30 days of quarantine. And today we're actually going to do an activity called Undercover Verse. And what this activity consists of is we're going to go through our Bibles. I've got the Orthodox Study Bible here, which I really love. And we're all going to find one verse, okay? Just one single Bible verse. It can be from any book of your choosing. And the criteria is this. You want a verse that at face value seems, a bit simple, a bit boring. Seems like there isn't much spiritual benefit. But we want this verse to be a verse where the more you focus on it, the more you see that it has a deep and wonderful spiritual benefit. Okay, so I'm going to share my verse with you, and I encourage you all to share your verse. And in the caption, maybe when you post it, tell us why this verse is so deep and meaningful to you and what spiritual benefit you found in it. Because I think a lot of the time we kind of skip through the Bible and, we latch onto the big Bible verses like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like, we are saved by faith through grace. Like, for God so loved the world, right? But we kind of skip the in-betweens. And every single word in the Bible is a fragment of God's heart. And so we can't just skim over it like that. Okay, so my verse is actually from Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 23, and it's not the last verse, it's verse 15. Okay, and the verse is as follows. A man accustomed to abusive words will never discipline himself as long as he lives. That's a man accustomed to abusive words will never discipline himself as long as he lives. Okay, so at face value, what this says to me is if you say abusive things, you're going to struggle with self-discipline, right? Actually, at face value, that doesn't make sense to me. Upon closer reflection, what it seems to mean is if you say abusive things to other people and you can't discipline your tongue, then you will struggle to discipline yourself. But the more I kind of contemplated this verse, I realized something really crazy. Yeah, I've been looking into psychology and things like that recently. And in some ways, the way we speak to other people is largely dependent on the way we speak to ourselves. There's this thing called self-talk, which is essentially, how do you speak to yourself in your head? Do you speak to yourself like a friend, like a child of God, like someone you respect and want to help? Or do you speak to yourself like you're your own slave who you don't like? Because it makes a big difference. If you speak to yourself kindly, you're more likely to convince yourself to do what you want to do. If you speak to yourself harshly, why would you want to listen to a tyrant, even if you're the tyrant? Okay, now I know that might be really deep. The way I perceive this verse is this. If you're accustomed to abusive words in your head, you're going to be accustomed to abusive words in your speech. And if you're accustomed to those harsh words, you're not going to ever be able to discipline yourself because God created us to want to be free, not to want to be slaves to ourselves, okay? So long story short, this verse speaks to me not just on a spiritual level, but on a psychological level. And it teaches me that if I do want to discipline myself, I need to make sure that my words are kind. My words to other people and my words to myself. Glory be to God, and thank you for tuning in. These activities are lots of fun, and we can actually all spiritually benefit from them. God bless you all.